Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Resident Evil the board game by Steamforged Games, and we're still carrying on with one of the expansion's content. We're working through the Flik outpost, and specifically today we're doing the Aqua Ring A scenario. I've sat and read the rules for what we're doing in this one quite a few times, and I still don't fully understand it. It's the most garbled of the garbled instructions, having to mix in these puzzle icons and crest tokens. We're just going to go for it. It's probably going to be done wrong. I'll read it out. So, during setup also there is 3 number 18 tension cards shuffled into the deck, which is little sharks nibbling at us because that's the theme of the Aqua Ring. But the objective in this scenario is that they must drain the flooded areas, characters must drain the flooded areas and progress deeper into the Aqua Ring. If each character is on the exit tile, the players can choose to successfully complete the scenario. If there's enemies on the tile, you skip healing at the end. Special rules: drainage system. At the start of the scenario, so hang on, I need to put this down so we can do this. At the start of the scenario, shuffle the puzzle cards and deal them. That's the map cards used for this. There's the puzzle cards. Shuffle them. I will do exactly that. And deal them face up in a row on the puzzle track. I'll just do it below the camera here so I don't forget, but obviously I'll do it in order. So, okay, so here we go. We're doing moon, we're doing sun, we're doing star, and we're doing wind. Okay, we're summoning Captain Planet. Then flip the wind crest and star crest face down. Okay. Wind crest, now you'll just have to take my word further. They're just below the camera, right there. If a puzzle card is face up, tiles with a matching name each gain a flooded token. So those are face up. It comes with flooded tokens, much like the ones that came in Resident Evil 3, the board game. So that means moon and sun are flooded. So that's flooded. That's flooded. That's it, I think. Yes, as far as what we can see so far. Any enemies on a tile that gains a flooded token is killed. If a character is on a tile, the players fail the scenario. If there are any archways on the tile with a flooded token, replace them with a closed door. Models can't be placed on a tile with a flooded token. Closed doors leading to a tile with a flooded token can't be flipped open, as in if you weren't using the 3D doors. A character in the same square as a crest token, for instance, can spend an action to flip the matching puzzle card face up. Place 10 wound counters on the card, then either flip the sun crest or the moon crest card face down and remove the flooded tokens from the matching tiles. At the end of each character's turn, discard a wound token from each puzzle card. If the final token card is removed, flip the card face down and remove the flooded token from the matchmaking tile. Then flip either the sun crest or the moon crest face up. I've gone cross-eyed. And it's not even over yet. Master Switch. A character in the same square as an objective token can spend an action to flip any puzzle card face up. If the flipped card is the wind crest or star crest, place 10 wound tokens on the card, removing them at the end of each character's turn as described above. After flipping a card face up, flip one of the other cards face down and remove the flooded token from the matching tile. If a flipped card has any wound tokens on it, they are discarded. No sane human being wrote those 4 paragraphs. So look, as I understand it, and I would say my understanding is maybe like 60%, we touch that crest token to flip that face up, we have to flip one of the other ones face down, which in other words blocks one of our paths of progress. We need to just find the exit, and probably one certain way will be flooded, and we have to make sure we unflood the right bit, is what I guess. Oh boy, okay, anyway, there's no enemies on the map. If you have other characters, they would also start exactly where Chris is. There's a box there, this is a safe corridor. There's no B deck, no C deck items. There's obviously A items, but really we're just trying to get out, and I guess the first port of call has to be the wind crest, so we'll just get started here. I'll bring the tension deck over a bit closer to me. I'll put it up there for now, it should be safe. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, open door for 4. So we can't open this door, we can't go in that room because they're flooded. From the depths, this is the card that got added. Each character on the active character's tile must pass a simple evade or they suffer 1 damage and are pushed because they get dragged by a shark. Little shark. Dodged it. Not well. Big shark, but not as big as Neptune. Next turn, we'll be walking in here for 1 and then immediately resolving 2 encounter cards on an awkward tile. we'll be placing a yellow unexplored token on the tile. And also, snakes! We're still not in the caves yet, so we don't remove that card. So, we have 3 actions left, and we have a snake to deal with. They are adjacent to us, so let's burn them with our hopefully OP flamethrower. Yes, 1 damage is enough to take out a snake. Goodbye. Yes. And then we'll go with 2 actions left because we've shot as our second. We'll go up there to that door right there. And we'll tension. We found Itchy Tasty. I'll try and remember that. No promises though. For the next time I pick up an item, we're already going to need to move the camera because I guess I'm just going to see what's through that door once we hit the crest. Alright Chris, let's open this door for 1, remove my dog hair for 1.5, and then go in for 2. So we have our wing crest. I'm going to need to check if you have to be in the same square. Either way though, 2 encounter cards in here as well. We've got ourselves a spider. Last time I did forget about the spiderlings card when a spider died. It didn't make a difference though because I left the tile instantly. Oh, ignore the effects of any other encounter cards, never mind. Goodbye Mr. Spider, this is actually a safe room. Huzzah! Alright, do I need to be on the square or just on the tile adjacent? Let's see. Has to be on the same square. Oops. So, 1, 2 to flip this. So, let's try and do this right. You can spend an action to flip the matching puzzle card face up. So the wind token is now face up, which means we've flooded that area, I think. Then we either flip the sun or the moon crest down. Right, so that would free up an alternative way to go then, I guess. But in return it might also block off. So this is a case of not really knowing. I guess I'll flip the moon, sure. So the moon card is flipped face down. And then you place 10 wound counters on the card. Which card? The wind crest or the moon crest? I think it means the wind crest, because then it says to flip down the moon or the sun, so it implies that's not the one that has the 10 on it. I'll grab a d6, or 2d6, and track 10 turns, I guess. So in 10 turns, it's going to flip back off, and but then that just means they're unemptying, right? Because when it's flipped up, that means they're flooded. So in 10 turns, the wind crest rooms will unflood. Oh, my brain. Alright, I'm using a couple of d6s. I'll just count down as we go. So 1, 2. We have to do another encounter card here because of that token. Got ourselves a doggo. Closest one not on me would be right there. And we have 2 actions left. Let's go to this door and we'll open it and see what awaits us behind door number 3. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but we actually have our first instance of stairs being used in the playthrough, and it's in an expansion level. That was the end of my turn, however, so a dog is going to give chase for 2, whoops, and do a sick pirouette right there, and then we're going to tension card, do an all clear. I feel like I missed the tension card, because that's a card that turns into a safe room, does not make it immune to tension cards. I'm going to draw another one. Keep quiet, nothing for us because we're recording, and that ticks down to 11 and 9 rather. So I'll close the door for 1 just to cut that dog off. I'm going to ignore the A item because my inventory is basically full anyway. Go here for 2, go here for 3, and I'm going to interact with the staircase for 4, which means I immediately need to find card number 2, which also would have linked nowhere. The doors at the south of the map were both number 1. So I was not expecting such a huge area to have to populate, and especially confusing because it's using the staircases, so it doesn't really matter how you orientate it. We're coming in from there, but there is another staircase there, which is not to be confused with the one we just took. So I had to look into it more like, what are we actually doing in this scenario? Because you see the tiles are labelled here on this card. You can't have, with only access to 1 crest technically, you can't have the sun crest and the moon crest face down simultaneously, so I presume you would have to find the master switch, which with 2 characters or more isn't so bad. I looked at the other explore cards. Normally I don't do that because I want to be surprised when I populate the area, but one, I wanted to know how much more space I needed because I'm running out of space, and two, it gave me a better idea of what we're actually supposed to be doing. With the benefit of hindsight, it definitely seems like, if we just show you the whole playing area here, what the optimal thing to do is, and I guess this is technically spoilers if you're doing this for yourself, you have two characters, you send one through this tile, through this door, or that door, either way, but if you've not changed any flooding, both those are flooded, this isn't. So you send someone through that door, down through this path. Once someone is down there, you do what I did with Chris, touch that crest token, flip it, I did count it down one more time incidentally, and then flip down the moon or the sun crest, which will flood that room because the wind crest also gets flipped up. But more importantly, clears half the way to the end. And then if you do explore down this way, the number one exploration card, which I won't show on camera yet, just on the off chance I do populate it, it has the star crest right through this door here. So you could interact with that, flood the other half of the optional ones, turn the sun crest face down, and then that means someone who's up where Chris now is just needs to walk within 10 turns through this door, and that gets them to the end. At the end is where the master switch is, so whoever gets to the end can press the master switch to give the other person 10 turns to get where they are, because they can flip any switch they want from the master switch. Does that make sense? It makes sense now to me that I've seen all the cards and I've kind of cheated and I've looked at all the cards, so I understand what I'm meant to be doing. I don't see how it's possible with one person to get from one end of a level to the other in 10 turns. The quickest way you can take is a way that will spit you out at that staircase there. On the assumption you get there with maybe 6 turns to spare, you could probably, if you run past everything and don't need to dodge, get to that door in time to not instantly lose to flooding. But it's just so convoluted and so stupid. Sorry, but it is. And also very difficult for one person. So I'm still going to keep the timer counting down. We have 8 turns, but I'm going to pretend that both of the areas are unflooded so I can just push on. I don't think I have enough room to actually populate every area. Just looking at the other 2 floors, or other 2 cards, which one of them is a different floor. I don't have enough room, which is the downside of not knowing how much play area you need in general. But even if I did know how much play area I needed in general, I don't think I would have enough room. I really don't. I'd have to move everything off the bottom of the table and populate all this down here to do the number 1 card. And then the number 4 card, which connects off of here, yeah, I literally can't fit it in based on where I've set it up. And I couldn't have known, because it's going to build that way to build the exit. So this one is going to be cut short because I am just going to push on to the exit. It's horrible. I have nothing nice to say about this scenario at all. We're going to play on as is. This floor is going to be shifted to one side once I get into this door so we can populate the final area. I guess as penance I won't restore like health if I get hit by anything or something to balance it out, but I hate this scenario. Everything about it is awful, and it doesn't seem possible with just one character. So let's see if we can skedaddle with 8 turns remaining. We're going to walk down here for 1 and withdraw, flip 1 encounter card to spawn a corpse, but at the end of the tension phase it is getting up. Closest biohazard symbol not on me would be at the door I'm heading towards, so 2, 3, 4, he's getting up. Like that. It's at the end of the tension phase though, so he doesn't get a reaction. I technically should have drawn the card first. All clear, and that ticks down to 7 turns, and we're going to start the next turn by burning him with the flamethrower. We got him. Would have got him with any gun there actually. We're going to move here for 2, open this for 3, and if we were playing by the rules as written, we'd now be dead and the scenario would be over because this room is flooded technically, but I'm going to count it as not. And we're going to go in for 4 and withdraw 1 encounter card to spawn 2 zombies. 1 there, 1 there. End of turn. He's going to move on to me. He's going to move there. Retention card. We count the timer down, so there's now 6 turns. And Chris is going to have to be deft at his dodging if I have any chance of making it where I need to make it. Let's also move this way a little bit and just keep going. Dodge. Nope, so we take 1 damage. Let's push the zombie through the door and go 2, 3, open this for 4. Now this tile here is legitimately unflooded right now, because of what I did. In 6 turns this tile would be flooded. The problem is this one is flooded unless you send somebody the other way. That's why I'm basically cheating and saying this is unflooded, because I don't see how you could get down here in 10 turns after you press the other crest. Maybe you're supposed to use 2 for this. I don't know. End of turn reactions. Here and here. And retention card. From the depths. The shark's nibbling at our toes again. Dodge. Nope. Okay. So it doesn't say which way we get pushed. Right? No, it's just the push symbol. Do I get to choose? It just says it pushes. I don't know. I guess I'll push myself through the door then. Take another point of damage though, so we're on caution. And that means we resolve an encounter card, presumably. To spawn a zombie. And then put Cerberus cards back in the deck. Zombie right there. Oh, I forgot to do the reacts, sorry. That counts down. We have 5 turns to get through this door or we die. And we're just going to go straight for the door. And that's going to be the problem, because then I have to populate an area I don't have enough table space for. So I'm going to have to dissolve the other half of the level. We're going to move here for 1, move here for 2. Part of the mansion is going to briefly explode. So that's what's awaiting behind that door, which again you would technically not be able to get to unless you went through the other 1 card we didn't do, which also means you would need room for this off of the starting area, and you would send someone here, press that, then have 10 turns to get to where Chris is now, where the exit tile is and where the master control switch is, so he'd be able to let the other person through easier. But in terms of table space, that probably makes this one of the largest areas. Some of the Resident Evil 2 board game maps were really large as well, actually. I remember struggling to fit those in on the same, like half of a 6x4 table. Granted, the campaign board and the mansion map are taking up more than their fair share, let's say. But still very awkward, and had I known I needed that much space, I obviously could have accounted for it ahead of time. But I genuinely don't look at the encounter cards before, or the exploration cards, sorry, before I need to. So I didn't know, so what can you do? But either way, I think I went in with an action left. I'm just going to close the door regardless, so we'll just resolve this encounter card. It will get a reaction against me, and it says zombie on my square, so it's biting me. There's karma for you. Well, trying to bite me. I actually do get to dodge. Okay, he barely did, but he did. And there's a triple encounter at the end, and I do actually kind of need to heal. So it would be nice not to have enemies on the tile, but I guess we'll see what spawns when I get there. Let's use the flamethrower to burn the zombie on our tile instead of dodging, which is what my initial inkling was, and I'm so glad I didn't. 2, 3, 4. I stopped counting down incidentally because it doesn't matter now, none of these tiles are flooded. Reanimate. There is no corpses. Although all those zombies up there would be dead as soon as the area refloods, because it would flood both those rooms. So we'll open this for 1, and we'll go in for 2, and we'll see what spawns off of 3 encounter cards. 2 corpses, which isn't anything so far. 3 corpses, okie dokie. After resolving all spawn entries on this card, replace the closest corpse with a zombie. So there was 3 corpses, but one of them became a zombie. So spread them out evenly, 1, 2, and then 1. There would be a third one, which would be here. So that's now a zombie. I forgot to put any item there, but this is also a room that would flood, so I can't go in there. I had 2 actions left. Let's do 1 more tension card. I'll end my turn so the zombie moves into... Open the door. Well, when the flooding starts, that door automatically closes, thankfully, otherwise I would have just died. And then let's use the flamethrower to try and end this. Yes, barely. So, definitely not exactly the funnest of things, but... and also very quick as a result of the way I've chosen to do it, but... Aqua Ring A... nah, that's a big no. So, obviously not a legitimate playthrough of this scenario because I cheated to count a room as not being flooded. That's the only thing I did, for the record. I didn't do anything else wrong. But I did count that room precisely right here as being unflooded when it should have been flooded. But everything else was done correctly. Not a fun scenario. I do believe that Steamforged have a poor track record of balancing expansion content. It was the same for the other two games. Shouldn't have expected any different for this one. Not a well written scenario in terms of instruction, not well laid out or planned out for a single character, for sure. Possibly you are meant to use two, but I didn't see anything say that you had to. It doesn't say you have to. But we can put it behind us. Call this illegitimate if you wish, I don't care. We're going to do our end of turn stuff though. Danger level is going up by 1, and ammo is replenishing. As it turns out, you didn't even need the Aqua ring key for that mission. There wasn't a single locked door that required it, and I brought it with me, wasting inventory space, which is why I picked up no items, because I didn't have room. So that was also good to know. Next time is a boss fight, which will hopefully be more interesting. It is the boss fight in Aqua Ring B against Neptune, the slightly larger shark. And it's got a special arena, it's got special rules. I haven't read them yet, I'm looking at the page briefly. After the scenario, were we meant to do anything? Add Aqua Ring B to the mansion map, which I have consolidated a little bit, which is why you can't actually see it in the top left now. I stuck together the ones that are done that don't link anywhere else. So tidied a little bit of space out of the way, but still not enough space for this level. That was a bad one, but hopefully next time will be better, although I won't be able to film it until I paint up a big shark. So until then, thank you for watching despite that. I hope you still enjoyed, and see you next time. Ta for now.